Hey, I'm going to walk you through how to make the pocket part of these pants that I've made for hiking. I've put zipper closures on these side slant pockets, and I did that because when I'm 6 or 7 miles into the woods, I don't want there to be any chance that something falls out of these pockets and me not notice it. So I like to have them nice and closed up. Although it was a little bit tricky to figure out how all these panels worked together. I didn't work from a pattern. I just kind of looked at some other pants that I had, and I wanted to document it. Now this video is just as much for me as it is for you. I don't want to have to figure this all out again when I try and make another pair a year or so from now. And I'm going to assume that you already know how to make basic trousers or pants, because I'm not going to go into all of the construction. I'm really just going to focus on the pocket section. I hope you find this useful, and let's get into it. So I want to mark out where this gets sewn to this. So this is the pocket facing pocket bag. What I'm going to do is mark the edge of this piece here like it is. So this line here shows the edge of the full piece, but I'm going to have a 1/4 inch seam allowance. So I'm actually going to want to stitch a 1/4 inch to here. There's going to be an additional 1/4 inch too, because what I want to do is mark out where I want the edge of this to actually lay when I'm sewing. So if the line I just drew is the edge of the facing without any seam allowance taken off, what I want to do is go double the seam allowance in. So that's a 1/2 inch. So I lay it on that line. That's a 1/2 inch in. So then when I sew at a 1/4 inch, that 1/4 inch seam line will end up, it'll end up in the right place, so it'll fold over and line up pretty close to the edge. Okay, so I've sewn along the edge of this in the place I marked out, and when I fold it over, it folds right up along the edge of the pocket bag, just like I had planned. Now I'll just press it and continue on making the pockets. So this is kind of how the order of this construction of this pocket goes. I've got the facing already sewn to the bag here. This is the other piece of the pocket bag. That'll lay on top of it. Here's the zipper. Zipper will go here. I actually need to sew this to the inside of the zipper. Then this side will get sewn to the facing, the inside bag. This is the outside piece of the pant leg. That'll eventually get sewn like that. And then the pant leg will eventually get sewn on this side. So, first step of getting this zipper on is I want to sew it to the pocket bags first. So I want to sew it to this piece first. I've got my pattern piece, and I've marked where the ends of the zipper are going to go. So I'll just lay this on here for reference. Take a piece of chalk, mark it, so I know where it goes. Make marks that I can actually see. That way I know where to line this up. But I want this to be sewn on the inside of the zipper. So over here, I can actually mark the other side too. I want to sew it just like that. So I'll put the zipper foot on, I'll sew along this edge here. So when it's flipped over, it'll be on the right side. Now, attaching this pocket bag zipper assembly to the pant leg is a bit tricky. So what we need to do is mark a line. I've already marked it, but this line is a 1/2 inch away from the edge. And I'm going to line up the pocket bag right along that edge and then sew right next to the zipper with the zipper foot. The reason why it's a 1/2 inch away is because I need the ends beyond, which are going to be beyond the zipper. I need enough fabric to cover the whole zipper tape and then be sewn in to this piece here. And in order to do that, I need enough material to span the entire width of the zipper tape left over after I've sewn the seam. And the zipper tape is about 3/4 of an inch wide, and I'm going to be about 1/4 of an inch away from the edge when I sew it to the pant leg. So then I'll have that 1/2 inch, and then the extra 1/4 of an inch should be the 3/4 of an inch that I need to cover these ends of the zipper. And I want to sew on the right side of the fabric. So this is going to be the outside of the pant leg, and I will have the zipper, the right side of the zipper facing down. So when everything gets folded back around, it'll be the right side of the zipper on the outside of the pants. I've also marked where the ends of the zipper should be. Then I'll position this assembly so that the ends of the zipper are at these marks. So I can see right there is the end of the zipper. I'll line it up with the mark. Same thing over here, the end of the zipper, line it up with the mark. I'll clip these in place. And then I will sew the bag to the pant leg. Okay, now I've got the pocket bag with the zipper sewn to the pant leg. One thing that we need to do is only sew between the marks. Don't want to sew all the way to the end because you want this stuff to be loose on the edge. So we're going to flip this over. So you flip it around. That's going to be how it's going to look on the pocket. But I want this material from this bit down. I need to flip this out. Same with up here. I need to flip this around. So I'm going to cut at an angle. This material. So I'm going to aim for the very end of the stitching. So what that allows me to do is I flip the pocket bag back inside. I have this bit of fabric here left, and I will fold it just like that, and then I'll top stitch along the edge here to hold this together. That way I've got a little bit showing of that zipper stop that I put on. Then I'm going to have the pants fabric, the front panel fabric will be there. I'll top stitch around there and around here, and then eventually this piece will go on. I'll just snip the same thing over here. I'm gonna top stitch this all right now because it can be a lot easier to do that top stitching and not catch anything I don't want to sew now, because once I get another pocket bag in there it'll be a mess. Now I've pressed and top sewn the pant leg over the zipper and the pocket bag. It looks like I got actually about a 1/4 inch extra. So instead of offsetting this zipper, I drew that line at 1/2 inch. I don't think I need to go a 1/2 inch. I'm going to go a 1/2 inch on the other side of this pair of pants, but the next time I might try only a 1/4 inch. Something I probably should have figured out before I did all this, but for the next time, I think I'll only go a 1/4 inch. Now I'm going to try and do the last part here where got the one half of the pocket bag and the zipper is sewn to the pant leg, and now I need to sew this other part of the pocket bag that I've already sewn the facing to. I have to sew that and the outside of the pant leg all to this part. To do that, I'm gonna flip it over to the inside. This is what I'm calling the outside pocket bag. So the inside pocket bag is going to line up right on top of it. So put the facing down and line up the outside edge of the pocket bag. And if I've done this correctly, when I line the pocket bag up, it's right along the same edge where the outside seam is going to be, and the top where the waistband goes is lined up as well. I'm going to clip this into place here, and I'll clip it in place up here as well. Now I flip this over. I'm going to want to stitch right along the zipper to line this all up. And I could do that, I could baste this on, and then I could sew this. This actually gets sewn here. I could do that, or I could try and do this all in one step. I think I'm going to try and do it all in one step this time. Just so I know where everything's got to go, I'm going to mark along my zipper there, mark along here, just in case anything gets shifted around, but I'll leave it clipped on too. Still leave it clipped. And then this will get sewn here. Sew a straight line right along the edge of the zipper, which I'll be able to feel as I'm sewing. This should end up in the right spot, so it's folded over. And once I sew this piece on, I'll fold it over, I'll press it, and then I'll trim it to the exact right shape that it's supposed to be. I'll put my pattern piece over it and then trim it to the right shape, because this may not be exactly right. Hopefully it's a little oversized. If it's a little undersized, that's okay too, as long as it's all within the seam allowance. So I've got everything sewn to the pant leg now. It's all one piece, but here's my pattern. When I cut the pant leg out, I just folded over where I wanted to cut the edge so that I'd have the full pant leg available to me, what it should end up when I'm done. And I laid it over, so I match it up with the crotch, match it up with the out seam here, and then we can see there's some that's still hanging over. And what I'm going to want to do now is I want to make that match the pattern. So I knew it was going to be a little rough, but I planned on trimming the edge. It's really not that far off, but when I go to assemble the pants, I'm going to want them to be spot on. Trim it around. So now, this front panel assembly matches what my plan was. The final part of this pocket is going to be to sew these two pieces together. I'll lay them on top of each other, and I'll sew around the edges with the straight stitch machine, and then I'll serge around the edge to keep it from unraveling. That's pretty straightforward. I'm not even going to show that. And here they are, finished and in the field.